This project was supposed to be about other worlds, like membranes, stretched through the skeleton of this one. The past giving meaning to the present, the past physically holding up this moment. When the arm bone swings, it's the tissue of the wing that pushes the air. It's the air that carries the weight of the bird. Dissociation. Entering the place that is invisible, memory, inside your own body. Being powerless when it seeps out of your blood through the seams in your wrappings, fills your room and rebuilds it in its image. Your room and its things trapping you the same as your body. The window, a hole in the wall where light streams in, is where you flee for respite, watching out, until one day it hits you that it's been filled too, that it has become a screen, where your fantasies and fears have been playing, cycling around you all this time. And then a sprig of rosemary wakes you up. You leave and lock the door behind you. You stretch out your shell and find that there's more sensation there than you expect, that the ache and the release of air and fluid when you pull your arm over and across your head is as substantial as the cloud that had filled your mind. Raw. Potential, space still to be filled. This is a diary. Everyone needs space. Everyone needs things to carry and have. I know what my work is about when I feel emotion is intense, seeping, digging, germinating, or exploding themselves into some place in my body as a real physical sensation. I try to externalize them from there, and the form I make feels linked to the shape the emotions forced my own body into. Can the process be reverse engineered? To see an object, to let it in, let it fill me, shape me. Notice points of tension, release, breakage, grain, reflection, in it, and so in me. It has identity then. It has a body like me. To let another person's objects fill me and shape me, can I share more with that human than two people can share? Not in specificities, but in the throb of the blood from body to mind and back. Look through my window and mix its light with theirs. I spent most of the year trying to do something like that with my grandmother. I don't think I succeeded. I saw how her head shakes, how it spins sometimes. Eyes are brightly filming over, legs unsteady, her pride an infinitely tall, infinitely thin line, which makes it 2D, exited from our reality. Her home a wilderness of things, piles and piles and piles of stuff that doesn't contain any of her memories, not even of the moment of their collection. I saw all of that, but I couldn't feel any of it. A break between vision and sensation is where her trauma lies. Each of her things acquired for the niceness of its packaging, or the niceness of the task. And now she's all but blind, and her sensations could be anywhere and everywhere, with no link to what I or anyone can hope to understand. I tried to make spaces that are full and still empty. I tried to focus on seeing histories in my objects. I tried to make walls out of piles of stuff I've collected, make a room out of those, and sit myself inside it and play with bits of dirt and trash on that floor. When I still could not say what I had achieved, I tried to stretch the past out frontwards, get productive, find a material for home that I could believe in and feel whole in. All of that, and I still wanted to beguile the world, blow minds. But with what insight? All of that, and nothing has come to let me travel in time, or enter other bodies, or vibrate with ceramics, or dry with clay. COVID came, and now I'm working at home. Now this is my thesis, my diary. Working now, the task I set myself has new literality. I am confined to home. I am filling it with art things in order to think about the process of one filling one's home with things. And I'm trying to make objects to represent the frustrations in my body in the capstone moment of a project about how all our perturbations are carried in our bodies and from that source erupt into our things. In this house, where I am and am working, is my first house, not my parents'. A dear milestone and a labor of 2 years of love, shared, built for all I'm concerned, filled, and negotiated with my most beloved friends. And at this time, I'm looking at the impending conclusion of our contract, the end of this container for my life, and feeling quite a lot about the memories that it's made of, this house. My home. Now it's my studio, my muse, my subject, my support, and my gallery. So this is my attempt to tie everything together. Forget shock and awe, let me just try to say something, anything. A heavy stone could plummet and hit the surface of the gel between my ears, slow, and then sink, pulling the surface of the shiny, fatty stuff down like an arm around it, stretch it lower and lower, pulling the arm of the gel, still holding it tighter and tighter until the load would settle in my belly, and it would not have broken the surface of the gel, and no sound would have been made. I find myself with no thesis. I haven't found any word or picture or sculpture that can explain my grandma, her collections, my collections, her homes, my homes, our memories, my ambition, my fear of nothingness, my fear of cataclysm, my fear of her blind anger and of her blind affection, or of the past. That hulking weight casts its shadow over the sky, and I cower in my bed. I turn tightly against the wall and feel the mural there. An orange sunset over crystal blue waves that I made early on for my own comfort. Warm, because I knew that difficult cold times were ahead. My fantasy in my window. I don't even have a whisper. I have my eyes staring out. They see bent backs and remember the cobblestone streets in Nice, where my grandma first started collecting refuse like treasure, where the incline that pulls rainwater to the gutter at times collected my own family's tears. They see ripped clothes and trash, and then also gilded buildings and press releases, and they remember her maze of teetering stacks. Something else is there. They can see its wrinkles. Pride and anxiety, power and powerlessness, the weft of time, back and ahead. They feel affinity with the tallest trees, and with a green sprout of grass torn up by a toddler sputtering. Well, maybe I have a whisper. At best, I have a whisper. I'd need to ask you, my imagined viewer, if you think you can hear anything when you look at this art, which is unfinished, which is all I have to say for myself, having spent a year muddling through a muck of painful history and illusions of grandeur, feeling it crush me a little bit always. Is the distance between now and then, me and you, here and there, between an object and its voice, or between a window and the scene beyond it, feeling it all more solid? It's okay too if not, because it's clear this work doesn't end.